here he is, the one, the only...
A phony, if there ever was one. Oh, that's me. Oh. Well, here I am again with $2,500 for one of our couples. A lot of money, eh?
Yeah?
If any of them say the secret word, the duck will fly down and pay him $100. The word in at his house. Fenneman, how would you like to fly up there and let the duck do your commercial? Okay, a vamoose duck. It isn't really a vamoose, it's a duck. A vamoose has big horns sticking out. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, we invited some art students to the show, and just...
Art students?
Art students.
I don't hear very well. My glasses are...
Just a few minutes ago, our studio audience selected one of them to be on the show, and her name is Miss Susan...
Steady now.
Yeah. What would you say that was?
I can't hear, and he's blind. I would say that's Susan Bravender.
I think you're right.
Yeah. It isn't often that I am, but...
No, I think that is Miss Susan...
In these unusual circumstances.
That's Miss Susan
That's
Bravender.
the first time you've ever conceded that I was right since we've been doing this show.
It's Miss Susan Bravender's waiting outside, I think.
Outside of the building?
No, right outside here, someplace.
Oh, right.
But before you go, you have another guest with her.
Oh, I thought the show was over.
We have a special guest for you, the famous cartoonist, Mr. Virgil Partch.
Oh.
I'd like them both to come in now and meet you. So, folks, you come in and meet Groucho Marx.
Well, say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day, I presume. Virgil Partch, the cartoonist, eh? Well, say.
My golly, it's great to meet you, Groucho.
My golly, it's great to meet you, too. It's an honor to have you here. I've been admiring your work for years.
Well,
this is professional courtesy talk. Actually, he thinks I'm Mr. Peepers. I'll get back to you in a minute, Virgil. Susan Bravender, that's you? We had a little trouble with your name before you came out here. How old would you say you were, or are?
22.
22, huh? You look real old for 22. Huh? Biff, of all the cartoons you've had published, what would you say is your favorite?
well, Groucho, I don't have any favorites.
One that you particularly remember.
Oh, there was one a few years ago. I get the most mail that I got the most mail on. It showed a man sitting on one side of the table and a woman sitting on the other, and there's a waiter bending over talking to the gal, and the guy was chewing his way through the table toward the gal. And it doesn't sound very funny, actually.
Yes, I like it so far. It sounds pretty familiar, but I like it.
And the waiter was saying, if he annoys you, ma'am, just let me know. You have to see the drawing.
No, I don't, because the fact of the matter is I was the inspiration for that cartoon. I didn't get anywhere, though. It turned out to be a metal table the last 6 inches. What's another Vip cartoon that stands out in your memory?
Oh, one in particular was the old cannibal setup with a guy in the pot, and all the cannibals were...
A guy with a pot, or a guy...
Well, he was in the...
Oh, in it, huh?
And all these cannibals were bringing up ice with tongs, and they were putting the ice around the bottom of the pot, and one cannibal in the foreground was saying to another, not cold cuts again.
That's good. I like it. Well, Virgil, there are very few people who contributed at all to the Gaiety of Nations, and I consider you one of them. And we're lucky we have a few fellows like you around. Now let's play You Bet Your Life. See if you can win some money. You selected music, and remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. That's clear now, huh? We start you off with $100. If you miss a question, you lose half of whatever you have at the time. Ready?
Should we tackle the 90-buck one?
That's a hard one.
Well...
Do you want to?
Sure.
$90. Freddie Martin has been one of our most popular band leaders for many years. What instrument does Freddie Martin play?
Don't look at me. I thought it was a piano. Where are the musicians? Well, I'm going to...
Guess.
Well, piano, huh?
No, it's a saxophone.
You lost half your $100. You now have $50.
All right, don't get discouraged now. What do you want to try?
Oh.
That was a hard one. Now, you can try an easy one if you want, and you can try a hard one again.
Average one.
Average?
$50.
Around 50? Here's a song that's been a favorite for years. Well, you tell me what it is. Play, Jack.
I'm all chasing rainbows.
That's right. I'm always chasing Marilyn Monroe. I'm chasing rainbows.
You had 50, you won 50, you now have $100.
Now you have 100. Now you can go for 60, 100, 20, 10, anything you want.
Well, let's tackle this. 70 bucks?
70?
Okay.
Sure.
One of our great composers gave us such tunes as I've Got You Under My Skin and The Still of the Night and Begin the Begin. Who wrote these songs?
Cole Porter, I believe.
Cole Porter is absolutely right.
You won $70, you now have $170.
And it's your last chance to beat the other couples. What are you going to go for?
Pick it.
You.
Oh, see, we got an 80-buck one in there, don't we?
Yes, you have. You have a very nice $80 one here.
okay,
It's a tough
well,
All
one.
right, we'll try.
In Disney's movie, Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket sang a great song, which the orchestra will attempt right now. You give me the name of it. Hit it, Meekin.
When You Wish Upon a Star.
When You Wish Upon a Star is absolutely right, and you have won valuable prize.
$250.
$250.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Well, just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mrs. Bertha Hannabrink to be on the show. Her partner is Mr. Charles Compton. So, folks, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
You did that all right. Welcome, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Bertha Hannabrink and Charles Compton, huh? Mr. Charles Compton, that's you, I see. Where are you from, Charlie?
Well, you may have heard of Mount Vernon, New York, 13 miles from Times Square.
How long ago did you live in Mount Vernon?
Well, I've been away from there now 12 years.
You didn't know Al Sheen of Gallagher and Sheen?
I know
He
him
used to
very
live-
well.
That's my mother's brother, you know. That's my uncle.
Oh, I knew Al very well.
Is that so? Well, I used to go up to visit him in Mount
Did
Vernon all
you?
the
Well, there
time.
were a great many professionals there.
Yes, there were, except when I was there. What is your age, Charlie?
My age?
Yeah.
66.
66. Well, you don't look it. You look like around 40.
Oh,
A real happy young fellow. Are you married?
I am.
You have any children?
No.
No children. How long have you been married, Charlie?
Nearly 4 months.
4 months and you're 66?
Mm-hmm.
You certainly don't believe in rushing things, do you? So you're a newlywed, are you, sly rascal? You? What sort of business are you in, Charlie?
I'm in the hotel business.
Oh. What do you do as a hotel man? You manage it?
No, I'm a bellhop down at the Hotel Statler in Los Angeles.
Bellhop? I thought bellhops were around 18 years old. Of course, I haven't been in the Statler for 40 years. Were you there 40 years ago?
Well, this has only been built 2 years.
Oh. I thought maybe you were in the foundation. I'll get back to you in a minute, Charlie. I'll ring a bell when I want you, all right? Bertha, you keep house. Is that what you do?
Yes, sir.
Well, aside from cooking and cleaning and washing and mending and gardening and ironing and marketing, what do you do in your spare time?
I'm an egg rancher.
Really? How many eggs have you produced this year?
Oh, about 80,000 dozen.
You produced 80,000 dozen? You must be very tired. Would you like a chair?
I think I can make it.
Oh, I presume you have chickens, huh?
Yes.
How many chickens do you have?
Oh, about 6,000.
6,000 chickens. Well, what are their names? Alphabetically, please.
Oh, you don't have them all named. We just have one whose name is Mr.
Is that your husband?
No, that's a little four-legged bantam rooster.
Four-legged rooster?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure it isn't a horse, a small horse?
No, sir, it's a little bantam rooster.
Have you ever seen a four-legged rooster? Outside of the Statler, I mean. Eh?
No.
And, well, how do you know which ones are doing the work if you don't know their names?
Oh, we have them on a report card system. And if they don't lay 3 or 4 eggs a week, and after a week or so, then they're ready for the stew pot.
So they have to lay 4 eggs a week, is that
Uh-huh.
it? Well, that's life. The bird knocks himself out all year, then there's a bad week or two, and... Next thing you know, she's keeping company with some mashed potatoes. I think we had it tough, huh? Now you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a lot of scratch feed. Well, let's see. We start you off with $100. If you miss a question, you lose half your bankroll. You ready, Charlie?
The first couple won $250, and the secret word is house.
If you selected cooking quiz. And remember, the more the question is worth, the harder it is. Now, what do you want to start with, and talk it over?
Yeah.
$50? Mm-hmm. If you bought a bag of Concords, what kind of fruit would you have?
Grapes.
Grapes?
Grapes is right.
You now have $150.
Okay, now what do you want to do?
40.
40? Okay.
What do you call the thick Hungarian meat stew? Thick Hungarian meat stew. What do you call it?
Hungarian goulash.
Hungarian goulash is right.
You now have $190.
Okay, now you have $190. Now, what do you want to try?
We'll take the $60 question.
60. What do you call the vessel of clay or glass, or the like, in which food may be baked and served?
Casserole.
That's right, casserole, yeah.
You now have $250.
What do you want to go for?
80.
$80. To remove skins from almonds, you pour boiling water over them and then rinse with cold water. What is this process called?
Blanching.
Blanching is correct.
And you'll wind up with $330.
Now you're okay.
Housewife and a man with an interesting occupation for you, Mrs. Sophie Nichols, Mr. Harold Okies, or Oakes. Would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Harold Oakes and Mrs. Sophie Nichols. Mr. Oakes, I'll start with you. Where are you from? Oakland?
No, I'm from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Oh.
Oshkosh, Big Ice.
That's a good town. I've played there many times. Sophie, is that the way you pronounce it?
Sophie Nichols.
Sophie Nichols. I like to live dangerously, Sophie. How old are you?
Well, Groucho, how old do you think I am? Are you a good guess at ages?
Well, you look about 50. I'd say you're 35. Is that right?
I'm 72 years young.
Well, you sure are. How do you explain that at 72 you look so much younger than I do?
Well, Groucho, I don't carouse.
Well, if that's the case, I'm glad I look older than you do. What do you mean by you don't carouse? What don't you do, Sophie?
Well, I love cards.
You love cards?
Yes. I play most any game in cards, and we always spend a nice, quiet evening at home.
Just you alone?
No, my husband and I, and we invite friends into the home.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mr. Oakes, you're a fine figure of a man.
Thank you.
If that is your figure. What is your gross tonnage?
Oh,
You don't have to tell us now if you don't want to.
well, I'm not ashamed of it. It's 230 pounds.
Well, that's mighty big of you, Mr. Oakes. What kind of work do you do? Harold is your first name?
That's right. I'm brewing superintendent of the Pabst Brewing Company, Los Angeles Division.
You know, I used to be on the radio for Pabst years ago.
I remember.
Unfortunately, they heard the show one week. Harold, how do you make beer? Do you start with a singing commercial and then make beer to fit it?
No.
Is beer really good for you, Harold? I understand you can get rheumatism from beer. Is that true?
No, that's not right.
Well, a friend of mine drinks beer all the time, and he's stiff in every joint. Sophie, let's get back to you, you rascal, you. Could you tell us how you met this lucky Mr. Nichols?
Which nickel do you mean? Which nickel have you reference to?
Well, how many nickels have you got there?
Why, I had
Sounds like
two
you hit
nickels.
the jackpot. Huh?
I had 2 nickels.
Oh, this is this prissy life you've led, huh? It turns out you've had 2 husbands, huh? Well, let's start with the first nickel. How'd you meet him?
Well, I met my first nickel when my brother celebrated his 5th wedding anniversary. He was on one side of the hall and I was on the other, and he came over and pulled me into a game, a peanut game.
Peanut game?
Yes, peanuts.
What's a peanut?
And,
I thought you didn't corral.
I tell you how we played that, Groucho.
Sounds pretty daring to me.
They passed quart bottles around, empty quart
Empties?
bottles. These happened to be milk bottles.
Milk bottles,
Yeah. And so then they had peanuts in a bowl, and they took you had to take a knife and put the milk bottle on the top of your head and see how many peanuts you could scoop on this knife and put them into the top of the bottle. And
You did this every night?
no, just this one night when we went to this fair, the large
This
game.
thing could run into peanuts if you did it every night.
And so then anyway, I had the highest amount of peanuts. I got the first prize.
And that was your first husband?
Yes. That was when I was out with my first husband, yes. And so, of course, later I married him. And so then I was a widow 2 years. And then I met the other nickel. They were cousins.
You were again pouring nuts on your head? Well, Sophie, is your present husband much older than you, Sophie?
Why, he's 4 years younger than I am.
Oh, you married a younger man, eh?
Yeah.
Doesn't that bother you?
No.
How do you know he is now chasing a pretty blonde when you're not looking?
Well, you don't hardly think, Groucho, he chased blondes at the age of 68.
Well, he can chase him. He may not catch any. Well, I'd like to continue this conversation, but the time has come to play You Bet Your Life.
The second couple leads with $330.
Now, remember, we get you started with $100. If you miss a question, you lose half your bankroll, whatever it amounts to at the time. Now, you selected the animal kingdom. One answer between you on all these questions. Now, what do you want to start with? 10, 50, 60, 100?
50.
$50. What is a shoat? S-H-O-A-T. Talk it over. What kind of an animal is a shoat? S-H-O-A-T. If you don't know, guess.
No.
It's a pig.
Oh, yes, I should have known that.
Sure, the bigger the money, the harder the question. You can take 40, 60, 80, 20, 10,
40.
40. What is the name of a domesticated cat with a short tail? It is named after an island in the Irish Sea. Talk it over.
Siamese?
No, I'm sorry. It's a Manx. M-A-N-X.
Well, you lost half your $50. You now have $25.
Well, this won't do at all. Easy one, hard one.
Well, try 80.
The bigger ones are the harder ones.
They're the harder
80?
ones.
The anaconda is the largest variety of its kind in the world. What is an anaconda?
Anaconda Montana. What is
Take a guess.
What?
You were looking at me. You should have known it's a snake.
I know what an avocado is.
An avocado. Well, that's not a... Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much have they got?
Well, they lost half the 25, so you now have $12.50.
Now, let's see if you can win one this time.
Take the 1250.
No. There is no 12.50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, say all the way up to 100.
All right, 10.
10. What kind of an animal or bird is a Plymouth Rock?
Chicken.
Chicken is right.
Well, you wind up with $22.50.
Nobody leaves here with that small sum. I'm going to give you one more question to bring the winnings up to $25. What state university do you connect with the Mainstein song? Think it over now.
Maine.
Maine is absolutely right. Sorry you didn't win, though. I should have given him Grant's tomb. All right, here we go for $2,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. An important ingredient in the manufacture of some perfumes comes from sperm whales. For $2,500, what do you call this waxy substance? Talk it over.
It's out of a whale. It's what they use out of a whale.
These things out of the ocean.
Okay, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Found a lot of it out in the Pacific Ocean on the rocks a while ago.
Come on, kids, time's up. Give us a guess if you don't know.
Is it sperm oil?
No, it's ambergris.
I knew it.
I'm sorry. So that means the big question next week will be worth $3,000. Well, you lost the big money, but how much they win the quiz, George?
$330.
Well, congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thursday night at 6:30 Eastern, you can trust a computer just so far on Green Acres. Then at 7, the play must go on, but Eddie just as soon not, on the courtship of Eddie's father. Now stay with us for the Bill Cosby Show next on CBN.